Hi buddies, once again you are back with me at your own favorite learning platform, Learn Forward, and we are right here with your maths book, Maths Concepts and Skills for Grade 5 by Feather Caps. And today we are going to start a new chapter in your book, that is chapter 4, in which we'll be learning about fractions. I hope you know what are fractions. Can you quickly tell me what are fractions? That is a part of a whole. Yes. And what are the parts of a fraction? Numerator and denominator. And if you have any confusion about what is numerator, what is denominator, you can remember by the down. D is down, D is denominator. So the part of fraction which is written down is the denominator and the upper part is the numerator. So first let's have a recap from what you have already learned. So we have a gear up exercise for you here. Match the figures with the correct fractions, green shadings being the focus. So you have green parts here. Let us see what these fractions are. This is what fraction is being shown? 7 by 8. So this is right here. This is 7 by 8, right? Let's look at this part. Do we have green shading here? No. This one is 5 by 6, 1 by 6 is here. So here we are taking care of purple shading. So this is 1 by 6. When we talk about this, we have green shading here. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 16 do we have? Yes, it's right here. So this is your 7 by 16. This is your 1 by 6. This is your 7 by 8. Let us write the fractions like this. So here we have 3 by 8, 5 by 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is just 5 by 8. This is also gone. This is also gone. This is gone. This is gone. Let's look at this. How much is it? 2 by 9. That's perfect. So 2 orange out of total 9. What do we have here? It is 1 by 4. 1 pink out of total 4. What do we have here? Here we have 3 blue out of 4. So it is 3 by 4. Are we left with anyone here? Yes, here we have 1 green part out of total 8 parts. So this is also done. It is 1 out of 8. So numerator is the number of selected parts and denominator is the total number of parts of anything, any picture, any collection you can say, right? So this is perfectly done. And what do we have ahead? What is a fraction? It's a part of a whole and it has two parts, the numerator and denominator. Denominator is the part down, the number written down, and the numerator is the number written above the fraction line. So this is how you write the fractions. Let's quickly recall how to read them. It is 2 by 3. This is 5 by 9. This is 11 by 5. And you also read them as 2/3, 5/9, 11/5, right? Now, what are the different types of fractions? First category is like fractions. So, by like, what do you mean? Something is same, isn't it? So, what is same in like fractions? The denominator is same in like fractions. So, if you have the fractions 1 by 8, 3 by 8, 5 by 8, 4 by 8, what you see here, all these have the same denominator 8. So, these are called like fractions. Coming to next is unlike fractions, which are just the opposite of like fractions. So, here the denominators are not same. So, if you have 2 by 3, 7 by 8, 11 by 9, 2 by 9 or 19, all these are unlike fractions. And here you can see these two have same denominator. So, only these two are like fractions. Otherwise, they are unlike fractions. Coming to next is proper fractions. So, proper means something that is done perfectly, correctly. So, proper fractions are the fractions in which the numerator is smaller than denominator. So, if you have 2 by 3, what do you see? Numerator is smaller than denominator. Next, 5 is smaller than 7. Numerator 8 is smaller than denominator 11. And here again 31 numerator is smaller than the denominator 47. So, when the numerator is smaller than denominator, such fractions are called proper fractions. And next is improper fraction, which is just again the opposite of proper fractions. That means in improper fractions, the denominator is smaller than numerator, or you can also say numerator is greater than denominator, right? Now, the next category is unit fractions. Unit means 1. So, when your numerator is 1, such a fraction is called unit fraction. For example, 1 by 8, 1 by 7. You can have any denominator, but numerator should be 1. Even 1 by 12. All these are examples of unit fractions. Coming to next is equivalent fractions. The word equivalent comes from the words equal and value. So, the fractions which are equal in value, they might have different numerator and denominator, but when they are equal in value, they are called equivalent fractions. So, for example, if you look at 1 by 2, 2 by 4, 4 by 8, 3 by 6, suppose you have a pizza. If you divide this pizza in 2 parts, what is this fraction, children? This is 1 by 2. Good. Now, the same pizza. You asked your mother, I want 2 pieces. So, what mama did? She's smarter than you always. So, she divided this into 4 parts and now she gave you 2 parts. Are you happy? Because this is the same. You wanted these 2. Mama played trick with you. She made 4 parts, but she gave the same value to you. So, this is, although 2 by 4, you are getting 2 pieces out of 4, but still the share is exactly the same. So, they are equivalent fractions. Now, again, the same pizza, you divide it into 6 parts, equal parts, and now you get 3 parts here out of 6. Do you think you'll be more happy now? Will you be happier? Oh, I have got 3 parts. No, you are not happy because still you are getting half of the pizza. So, such fractions which are equal in value, they have different numbers here, but they are equal in value. Such fractions are called equivalent fractions. And how do we find out equivalent fractions? We'll be learning ahead. First, we have an exercise for you here. Which of the following are like fractions? Yes, with same denominator. Good, you got them correct. And which of the following are unlike fractions? So, 9, 8, 6, 25, 9, 11. Only these 2 are like. That means this. These are unlike. The 2 I have crossed out, only they are like. Remaining are unlike fractions. Which of the following are proper fractions? Numerator smaller than denominator, you will find yourself. And which of the following are improper fractions? Yes, numerator has to be bigger. So, what do you say? Is 6 by 9? No, it is proper. This one? Yes, this is improper. So, like this you will be finding out. Next is, which of the following are unit fractions? What are unit fractions? The numerator is 1. So, I am sure you can identify them yourselves. Which of the following are equivalent fractions? So, for equivalent fractions, you have to find out either by making the picture I made for you, or the best way is you cross multiply. For example, if you have 2 by 3 and the other fraction is 4 by 6. So, what you do? Take the denominator to the numerator and multiply. So, 6 2s are 12. This is 2 times 6, 12. And here it is 4 times 3. This is also 12. Right? Now, both values are same. That means this is a pair of equivalent fractions. When I talk about this part, 2 by 9 and 4 by 12. So, 2 by 9 and 4 by 12. Always remember that the denominator is to be taken up to the numerator. Now, 12 2s are 24 and 9 4s are 36. Are the values same? No, the product is not same. That means the two fractions are not equivalent, right? So this was in your first exercise. Now let's think unit fraction and whole number is one and the same thing. Yes or no? No. Whole number is something that is complete. But unit fraction, in this we talk about one part out of many parts of the whole thing, right? So they are not same thing. In whole number, the denominator is 1, but in unit fraction, the numerator is 1. So this is another way of making the difference. Now, reducing a fraction to its simplest form. What do you mean by reducing the fraction to its simplest form? That means from the numerator and denominator, we have to cancel out the common factors, the highest common factor rather. So this can be done in two ways. First you find out the HCF of numerator and denominator and directly divide by that HCF. The other way is you keep cancelling out, reducing it to lower form by just finding out any common factor that is left. Let's understand how do we do it. Suppose you have 32 and 20 in the numerator and denominator. So your fraction is 32 by 20. You have to reduce it to the lowest form. So can you see 32 and 20 both are divisible by 2? Yes. So you divide by 2 and you get 2 tens are 20, 2 ones are 2 6 are. Now again what you see, 16 and 10, both of them are still divisible by 2. So you again divide by 2, 2 5s are 10, 2 8s are 16. So what you get is 8 upon 5. Now still is there any common factor between 8 and 5? No. So 8 and 5 is your simplest form. Another way is find out the HCF of 32 and 20. So HCF of, can you tell me what is the HCF of 32 and 20? You have the answer correct. That is 4. So now you divide 32 and 20 both by 4. This HCF. So this will help you in getting the simplest form in one single step. So when you divide by 4, you get 4 8s are 32 and 4 5s are 20. So this is the same as 8 by 5. So either you do step by step and come to the lowest form, simplest form, till there is no common factor left in the numerator and denominator, or in one single step you find out the HCF and divide the numerator and denominator both by the HCF to get your simplest form of the fraction. So you can do any way. I hope you understood both. Okay. Now let's move to the next. You have an exercise here. Write the following fractions in the simplest form. So choose your method of finding the simplest form. Second is check whether the given lowest terms are correct or not. So to find the lowest term, what you have to remember, finally I told you in the simplest form, in the lowest form, the common factor in numerator and denominator should be 1. So we'll just find out 5 by 6. Is it the lowest form? There is only 1 as the common factor, but have we reduced it correctly? Both were divisible by 5. So 5 3s are 15 and 5 7s are 35. It should have been, but it is not correct. They are saying 5 by 6. Now coming to 48 and 64. Both of them are divisible by 8. 8 6 are 48, but 8 8s are 64. So again this is wrong. Here in this, it was 5 3s are and 5 7s are. This complete was wrong. Now when you talk of 15 and 45, 15 3s are 45, it says 4. So 15 ones are 15, 15 3s are 45. So even this is not correct. Coming to 13 by 26. 13 is the common factor. 13 ones are 13, 13 twos are 26. So this is correct. In this case, both are divisible by 10. So 10 sevens are 70, 10 nines are 90. This is also correct. And here 4 is the common factor, highest common factor. So 4 3s are 12, 4 4s are 16. So on this side you get all correct. On that side you get all wrong ones, right? So we have a let's connect project exercise here as per Save Tiger project in India, there were 250 tigers. So what does this activity say in the year 2010 as compared to 1250 tigers in the year 2020? That means it is increasing. Write down the fraction of the tigers saved in the year 2010 to 2020 in its simplest form. So how many tigers have been saved? From 250 it has reached to 1250. So this is 250 tigers saved. Sorry, 1000 tigers saved. In comparison to just 250. Tigers saved in the year 2010 to 2020 in its simplest form. 1000 tigers have been saved as compared to 250 in 2010. Now you have to reduce it to the lowest form, which you get as 4 by 1. This is your lowest form. Now what do you understand by poaching? That means killing, hunting of animals. And according to you, what steps can be taken to protect wildlife? What should you do? Yes, avoid deforestation. Very good. Another one says, stop killing animals. Very good. What about others? Afforestation is another idea. Good, that's wonderful, children. So it shows how pathetic you are towards animals also. That's a good feeling. In fact, we should be kind to all the living creatures. All of us have equal right to live on this earth, right? Now, comparison of fractions. Comparing like fractions is very easy because you have the same denominator. So if you have the fraction 1 by 5 and 4 by 5, if I draw it here in the form of a circle, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So if you have, or let's draw a chocolate, that will be good idea. So if I have a chocolate here, the same chocolate slab here, the same chocolate slab here, and I divide them in equal parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what do you see? Every time I am making total 5 parts, that means my denominator will always, in all 3 ways, will be 5 only. But how many parts am I getting here? Excuse me. 3. How many parts am I getting here? 2. How many parts am I getting here? 4. Right? Now, because the share is increasing or decreasing depending on the numerator, how many pieces am I getting? This will tell me which fraction is bigger or smaller. So when you have like fractions, you always check the numerator and arrange the numbers there. So this fraction is bigger than this, but 2 by 5 is smaller than 4 by 5. And when you compare 3 by 5 and 4 by 5, 3 by 5 is still smaller than 4 by 5. So when comparing like fractions, just compare the numerators as simple numbers. But when you have unlike fractions, what you can do? To compare just 2 unlike fractions, we can cross multiply as we have done while doing equivalent fractions. But there is another way of comparing the unlike fractions by finding LCM also. How? Let's take an example. If you have to compare 1 by 5 and 2 by 3, first tell me, are they like fractions? No, they are not. So we'll try to make them like by taking the LCM of their denominators. Now in equivalent fractions in your previous grade, you have already learned that we can make fractions equivalent by either multiplying or dividing both the numerator as well as denominator at the same time by the same number. So if you want to change, what is the LCM of 5 and 3? 15. So if you want to change 5 into 15, by which number will you multiply? 3. So you will not do it only with the denominator, you will do it in the numerator also. So what you get is 3 times 1 is 3 and 5 times 3 is 15. So 1 by 15 is the same as 3 by 15. The other fraction is 2 by 3. So you want to make the denominator 15. That means you will be multiplying by 5. So you will multiply the numerator also by 5. So what you get is 10 by 15. And this gives you 1 by 5 is less than 2 by 3, because now with these two fractions as like fractions, clearly you can make out 3 by 15 is less than 10 by 15. That is why 1 by 5 is less than 2 by 3. Okay. So this is how we can compare the fractions, unlike fractions, using LCM method. The other method of comparing two unlike fractions is rather simpler. We just cross multiply, and remember, always the denominator will go up to the numerator. So when you have to multiply 1 by 5 and 2 by 3 fractions are there, take 3 up and take 5 up. So here you get 3 ones are 3 and here you get 5 twos are 10. Which one is bigger? 10 is bigger. That means your fraction 2 by 3 is bigger. So you get 2 by 3 is greater than 1 by 5. That is the same answer we have got here. 1 by 5 is smaller than 2 by 3, right? But when you have to compare more than two fractions, you have to arrange them in ascending and descending order. Then your LCM method is more convenient, because you can look at all the fractions at a time in a single go. So if you have your fractions 1 by 4, 2 by 3, 3 by 5 and 1 by 2, we first find out the LCM. What is the LCM of the denominators? 4, 3, 5, 2. This is not 30, then not even 40, it will be 60. So LCM of, you can find out the LCM of 2, 3, 5, 2 will be 60. Right? Now, when you want to change 4 into 60, you will multiply by 15. So you get 15 by 60. When you want to change 2 by 3, 3 into 60, you multiply by 20. So you get 40 by 60. 3 by 5, 5 changes to 60, multiplying by 12. So 12 5s are 60 and 12 3s are 36. 1 by 2 into 60, so you will multiply by 30 here. So you get 30 by 60. Now what you see, all the fractions are like fractions. So when you compare them, which is the smallest one? 15 by 60 is the smallest. Then you have 30 by 60. Then you have 36 by 60. And finally, you have 40 by 60. And because you have to order your original fractions, you will write back those fractions in place of these equivalent ones. So 15 by 60 was 1 by 4. So your 1 by 4 is the smallest. Then 30 by 60 is 1 by 2 is the second one. 36 by 60 is 3 by 5 is the next one. And 40 by 60 is 2 by 3. So this is your biggest fraction. This is how you'll be arranging fractions in ascending or descending order by finding out the LCM of all the denominators. Now here you have an exercise. Compare the following fractions using the correct sign. Arrange the following fractions in ascending order. You can do by finding the LCM of denominators, and in the next you have to arrange them in descending order, again by finding the LCM of denominators and converting the fractions into equivalent like fractions, right? So I'm sure you can do this exercise. Here you have a group activity. Bake a cake with your mother. Note down in what fraction different ingredients are being used. For example, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder she uses. Then quarter, that means 1/4. Again, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. Add the fractions and the whole numbers and write the answer. So you'll just be adding all these fractions. Similarly, bake other things like bread or muffins. You can take the recipes from your mother or from your YouTube also, and then compare the fractions of same ingredients used to bake different things. So you'll be you'll just be considering what fraction are you using for of baking soda you are using for making muffins, for making the cake, or for making the bread, and you'll be comparing. That means uh, in which item you are using the maximum or in which you are using the minimum. So this is how you'll be arranging them in descending order or ascending order. That means you'll be comparing them. So we still have more to learn in fractions. This was all till now. We'll be coming up with yet another session on fractions. Till then, happy learning, children.